Hello everybody, my name is Frigid Hyperion, and welcome back to the Wilds of Wildemount campaign. Today we are playing Session 60 with Group B. With us
Yeah.
today,
9 more episodes to go, guys.
Session 60, that is quite the number. With us today we have Kale playing as Brian, we have Rocky playing as Edward, and I am playing as Moonzic. I will give the recap in just a second, but I want to give, of course, a big shout out to our Dungeon Master, Emily. And I also want to give a big shout out to Dawn over at his channel at Dawn of Time 06 over on Twitch for doing our Group A sessions. They just wrapped up 59A last week, and if you haven't seen that, you need to go to my YouTube channel and watch it. It is a ride. Okay. Last time on the Wilds of Wildemount. After having rescued Ayla Finch, the group of Moonzic, Brian, and Edward make their way back towards the Finch family estate. Ayla decides to ride with Moonzic, who is disguised as Fernando Suarez. And about halfway through, they do stop for a short rest in one of the Wayun Gorge's caves, or on a rocky outcropping, if I remember correctly. During that short rest, Ayla was asking a lot of questions about Fernando's leadership and captaining of the Legati Company, asking about a lot of really oddly dry information, whilst giving Brian the stink eye and kind of overall not paying much attention to Edward. Heading further towards the Finch family estate, Ayla begins asking more pointed questions on topics of leadership, to which Fernando Moonzic, deep down, didn't really feel comfortable with answering those questions. Whether it be comfortability with talking about it with a complete stranger, or the comfortability with himself, he's not completely sure. But, regardless, late in the night they finally return home to the Finch family estate, whereupon Ayla and Mateo are given a moment to take a sigh of relief and hold each other in their embrace as father and daughter, while and then shortly afterwards they give us they offer us a room for the night. Brian and Moonzic go off to their room to just unpack and just kind of settle in, while Edward gets a tour of the estate, stopping by Mateo's office to notice a only 6-month-old map of the entire world of Exandria with new geographical information, including the current borders of Ankarel and 2 other nations that have popped up next to it, or that used to be within Ankarel's borders, Aska and Lethal. After learning this and after concluding the tour of the estate, Edward meets back up with Moonzic and Brian to discuss his findings and to discuss the next course of action. When they sit down with Ayla and Mateo just a little bit later over some tea, they discuss the finer points of their reward, which seems to be more along the lines of information, and after that, first, I should say, the information being that the map that they had come into possession of came from an auction in Port Damali that was being put on by none other than the broker himself, which has really thrown quite the interesting twist into everything. The other piece of negotiations, whether it actually be part of the reward or whether it be as an additional bit of bartering, The Legati company and the Finch family have decided to work out an agreement with their toll road and a cut of their business with precious metals, as well as maybe the ability to be able to travel to the continent of Marquette, where Ankaril is, quickly. And I believe that is just about where it takes us to.
Yes. With that, Brian kind of makes suggestion for the others to leave the room and leave Fernando and Alia to chat privately.
Ayla.
Ayla, did I say it wrong again?
You did.
Ayla, I'm
No,
never
she
gonna
said
get
it right this time.
Rock.
Uh, so, as the three of you, Mateo, Brian, and Edward, leave the room after the intense negotiation, uh, leaving Fernando and Ayla alone. It isn't long before, after they leave, that Ayla stands up, makes her way over uh, to the balcony, letting in the cool night air, uh, and kind of leans out onto the balcony, forward. You can see the entire stage.
Fernando will kind of drift over to the balcony as well, kind of letting the. This is getting to be towards more the chillier months, so I imagine it's.
Yes, it's crisp.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, as you join her, Ayla says, "You're not what I expected, you know.
Oh,
When
really?
yeah, when I had first heard of the Legati company and their notorious captain, I suppose I pictured someone older, stuffier. But instead, here you are, young, ambitious, with just the right amount of mystery."
It is always the mystery that drives us, is it not?
It is. I
Well,
can see why people follow you.
I must admit, your questions earlier this evening did make me question myself a little bit.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. I I want to be honest with you in something, but I I do want you to be honest with me with some things. I have some questions, not as a merchant, not as anyone seeking information for personal gain, but information so that I may trust you. Because I want you to trust me too.
You make it sound like you're hiding something.
I am. And for me, I'm hiding my entire world.
Hmm.
Will you humor me?
Certainly. I like to say, I like to stay informed. Information, after all, is the most valuable currency. Wouldn't you agree?
Indeed it is. If that map is anything to be believed, at least. So, speaking of which, you had mentioned in our negotiations that you have an interest in going to Marquette. Was that simply to get our attention, or is there actually something there that you're interested in?
I just a second, my brain. uh Sorry, so slow DM brain getting into the swing of things. Um well, as you have noticed, um a a level of instability in a location far from here uh, can breed a new life into trade. And if the map is accurate, we have information, the current state of Marquette, that is significantly more informed than the others, who might be looking to make some coin.
Fair enough. I suspected that's what it might have been. And
And
go ahead.
oh, I was just simply saying, uh, what interests me is why you seem all caught up
It is. That does have something to do with who I am in my past. I will say this to kind of start things off. I your curiosity for the captain of the company is not unwarranted. There have been tales of a gruffer, older man captaining this group, and that is, for the most part, true. The only stipulation with that is only but a front. As is Fernando Suarez. Both of them are linked to the same person.
on.
What I am about to tell you can be dangerous information. It is valuable, but in the wrong hands, very volatile. Are you sure you want to know more?
Fernando, you've got that look, that one that people get when there's something heavy sitting on their chest.
I have hidden who I am for a long time from most people. The only people that know who I am, who know my identity, are my closest friends and my family, but that is another story. It's refreshing to be able to talk to someone about these kind of things who you don't know hardly at all, but be able to lay yourself bare in front of a complete stranger and not look at you as a monster or something else. It's liberating, and I think I have spent enough time in the shadows to take a little dip back into the light. If you would, again, humor me.
Certainly. I mean, I have been curious since I first started talking to you. You've just got this air about you. Commanding, polished, but uncertain. Like, I don't know, someone who's had power and lost it. She raises her eyebrow, too. Am I close?
More than you know. Are you ready?
The anticipation is killing me. Just spit it out already.
I am going to show you who I really am. It is a bit of a transformation, but it is very short. So I will be a completely different person. By looks at least. Maybe a little bit of personality change, but it is still mostly me. And he'll take a step back, and that chill air kind of wraps around him a little bit. And he's going to kind of reappear with a grin, as it's not his actual self first. He's going to step forward as Mercedes and kind of throw her off guard.
Whoa.
A woman?
No, not quite.
Whoa, it turns out she was a girl this entire time. You've been tricked.
No.
This is what she meant by mysterious men, is it not?
No.
Right?
I just wanted to do this to throw you off a little bit. This is another one of my disguises, and I just wanted to see if you'd share the same kind of weird humor that I do, I suppose.
I was certainly surprised.
Okay. This is going to be the real one this time, I promise. And without the fancy air flashes or everything, like the vision just kind of fades from Mercedes to how Moonzic looks normally. This is me. My name, as my friends call me, I am known as Moonzic Mirai. I'm not a very well-known person around Wildemount itself, but I do have a little bit of a name in Feolin. However, that still is not my real name. And that name is Zaya Dobinzi.
Zaya Dobinzi.
If
Familiar. On the tip of my tongue.
I am the oldest son of the late King Turcomise Dobinzi of Ankarel.
You see her eyes kind of go a little wide, and she like freezes for just half a beat. Her lips part in surprise before she kind of quickly recovers. Her voice is measured. but you can hear she's still interested.
As...
So Benzi,
Yes.
you're the missing prince?
I'm not sure if missing is the right word for it. I am being hunted by my family. I have a withstanding bounty for my execution or my return.
I thought that was just a tragic tale to keep bards employed.
No, unfortunately not. It's a long story. And he's gonna go through the motions of telling that entire story. I don't want to get into like the nitty-gritty of it. I've been through that story before.
Are we just trusting them now?
Yeah, that's what I was about to like. This was your most closely guarded secret, and we're just gonna tell this person.
All in due time. All in due time.
Okay.
So
She
he's
knows
going
everything there is.
to kind of explain how... He's going to explain everything from the beginning. What happened the night that he was betrayed by Pabir. The fact that he was aided in his escape by his mentor. And the Enchanted One, who he met underneath on Corel, was able to commandeer an airship and evade capture in Port Damali, and everything else that's happened as well. As well as brushing on the events with the Legati Company, taking note of the encounter with the assassins that kind of warped in. And then just kind of another brushing of other events leading up until now. So, it's certainly been kind of a long road for me. Just having to be undercover and on the run for the better part of 4 years at this point, almost 5. It has been very hard to trust people. But, like... your questions kind of made me look back at what I have done while kind of in the shadows. I've helped the people of Palma Flora escape from the sinking of the Isle. I've helped broker peace between the Saugin and the Clovis Concord. I've helped a good judge in the Clovis Concord with the disappearance of his wife. I've done so many of these things that I think have done an overall good on this place. That I think if I were to reveal who I was, even little by little, I think people would come to see that I'm not this terrible monster on a wanted poster to be hunted down. I am actually someone of good nature. Someone who maybe should be allowed to head home and decide for himself if he's fit to rule. So, your questions kind of cut deep, but in a good way.
She's quiet for a moment, studies you intently. She says, if it's true, why tell me? What's your play here, Saya?
I don't think I am playing at anything. I think just the fact that I was a mere stranger to you and you asked these pointed questions, if I might say, I had the inclination you might have known something about me. you at least had an understanding of my stance in leadership and in power, so the fact that you were able to lock onto that so quickly, and just hear me out in general, I genuinely think that I can trust you, and maybe I do like you a little bit as well.
Oh,
She kind of glances away, cool as a cucumber. And she steps closer, her tone shifting from curious, onlooking to more personal, more intimate. Truth is, I admire you. The way that you've carved out your place in this world, especially now knowing your history. You don't have strings pulling you. No family legacy weighing you down. You're building something all on your own. And that's rare in people like us. So, I think the business side of me wants to say, go, you know, go there, take your rightful place, avenge whomever, and to follow you behind, to help profit on what's going on. But the other side of me thinks that you're building something for yourself, something good. And I don't know. We're not so different there. We're people who know that the world isn't fair and refuse to play by its rules. Anyway, in a way, we're just on opposite sides of the table. For now.
We're on opposite sides of the table, but we at least sit at that same table. That says something.
It does. I'd be lying if I didn't say I enjoy the game just a bit, though.
Well, I think right now we can put that game aside. I think if we both allow ourselves to put that game aside, I think we can indulge in each other for a little while.
And with that, we're going to let them continue their conversation well off into the night. Maybe pick back up later. Who knows? In the meantime, outside of the little office they're hunkered down in, what are you and Edward doing outside? Brian?
I have two answers. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm following, and I think, and this is just because this is what Brian would be doing. Brian has managed to ditch everybody and is currently listening at the door.
Of course you fucking are.
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Of course Brian is fucking eavesdropping on this shit.
So,
Fucking rude.
okay. So here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna roll me a
Can I
perception.
argue I would have used Pass Without Trace if I have stealth checks to make?
If you wanted to, yeah, you could.
Hell yeah. Anyway, what did I have to roll?
A perception check.
Alright.
Okay.
That's a pretty
and
good
then,
perception.
Pretty high.
and then
Perception check.
so a stealth check. And you have passed the trace.
And that is a stealth check. That is a
Lord.
natural 20.
Damn.
Brian is on her
34.
Brian
I
is
don't-
on her best when she's snooping.
I don't think she even needs pass
34
without
for
trace.
stealth. What the hell?
Okay.
She's gone full on like, I want to know the tea.
Brian is the lamp in the room, okay? No, I'm just kidding. You're outside the door. You admitted that.
Oh, by the way, Ayla, did you happen to see where my mimic cloak went?
Yeah.
The lamp starts hopping away,
Oh
like it right out of the Pixar movie.
my god.
Okay, so you see the rolls because this is something that's pretty intimate to you, Moonzic. Please explain what she hears and what she didn't hear, basically. Like I'm letting you.
I guess it
pick up-
depends on at what point did Brian decide to sneak into the room with that nat 20 stealth.
I did not sneak in. I am outside the door. I am listening. Brian basically doubled back. She kind of whisked everyone out to get you alone time with Ayla. You know, trying to be a good wingman, and then she just got way too curious. Like, did it work? And now, what does she overhear before she either decides to leave you to your privacy, or gets trapped into the conversation by just being flabbergasted by bombshells?
Well, that depends. How long do you want to sit into the story of Moonzic's entire backstory?
I think Brian would hear that you're revealing who you actually are, and just be so surprised that she could not keep listening without reacting, so she just left at that point.
I was gonna say, like, I imagine you, like, hearing that I'm about to reveal myself. You're just, like, starting to sprint quietly down the hallway. Shit.
No. She misinterprets what reveal yourself means.
Oh, good God!
Oh.
And then
Yeah,
she
that's a
hears
little
Mercedes' voice and goes, and completely misunderstands the situation. That's where I'm leaving it.
That's funny.
Oh my God. You think? Oh my God, Brian is gonna have
I didn't want to hear any more after Mercedes' voice.
Brian is gonna
He was
have
like, oh, whatever they're up to in there, have fun.
Brian is gonna have a bit of a weird look at the breakfast table.
It's a mission accomplished.
Mission
She doesn't care
accomplished.
what Moonzic gets up to. It worked.
Yep. That's what. Yeah, I think that's
That's funny. Now,
Brian wouldn't stick around longer than that. She doesn't want to impede too much on the privacy. She's just too curious.
So Brian does not and I'm cool if we just want to go with this because I think it's fucking hilarious. Brian did not hear him reveal his princelyhood though. She left before that.
Yes. Yeah. She heard Mercedes' voice and figured something a little freaky was going on and decided to leave to spare Moonzic the privacy.
So the question becomes, how much of this are you telling to Edward? What?
It depends on how drunk I get later on.
How far is this game of telephone going?
Brian isn't gonna tell anybody right now.
Okay.
I can say nothing for her ability to control herself as time goes on.
Brian, why are you looking at me like that? Oh, no reason. No.
Mm-hmm. So fun night last night?
Edward, are you doing anything in particular?
Edward would like to start creating a exact replica copy of that world map in his own private quarters that he's lodging in for the night with his cartography tools.
Heck yeah. I'm gonna say that with a night of focus, I'm just gonna say that you complete it to a recognizable degree. Of course, you can continue to work on it, make it super fancy and whatnot, but like you got the big stuff down.
Do you have like the photographic memory feat, Edward?
Yes, I do actually.
Ah, that's how.
So I have to keep in mind.
Yeah, that's how he does it.
Yes.
That's why I'm not making him roll for anything.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't remember, but that's a really cool use of that.
Yeah, he's got the.
Yes, I know. It's as if Keen Mind was underrated, but no one takes it because it's not combat related.
He's got cartographer tool proficiency. He can do this. I'm not. Yeah. But yeah, good use of your time.
Brian made the best use of her time.
Brian did make a good use of her time, not gonna lie.
As she's transcribing all of this into her own fucking smut novel.
I.
Oh my god.
It's me.
Okay.
Smitten by the shapeshifter, now coming to stores near you.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Hale, can you like do like a DM minute? So like on this, where I just need like 5 seconds.
Oh.
Me and you?
Shape of Your Heart. A new novel by Brian Ezery.
Yeah, that's fine.
All
No,
right.
yeah, yes. Okay, thank you.
Got it.
So, I don't know. What are we all feeling about Moonzic's choices of I mean, like, what happened there? Why revealing such a big secret all of a sudden? What plans do you hold?
Well, I figured that I think I've been making the right choices. This might not be one of them, but I want to feel more comfortable with who I am truly, and I want to be more confident. If I am going to return to Ank'Harel, I need to have that. I need to feel comfortable in that position of power, instead of hiding away from it.
With this knowledge now shared to these merchants, what relationships are we going to have to them moving forward?
That might be a great question for Edward.
Edward, what do you think? With all of this,
I personally think this is an incredibly large risk that sort of detracts from the validity and the effort invested into keeping his identity a secret from now on. I pray that this doesn't become at least an issue for Moonzic later down the line, and I genuinely hope that he doesn't see to it that there will be consequences for these following actions. After all, I mean, we only did meet this person for like 2 sessions. So I suppose the trust bestowed upon her is a little bit spontaneous, if for lack of a better term to put it. What about your opinions, Moonzic?
I'm sorry,
Make
I was
What do you
responding.
make her? What do you make of her response?
I think she was not expecting that uh, revelation, but I I think she is someone to be trusted. If she knew who I was, and I haven't been killed yet, then so far things are okay. If she was actively looking for me and knew who I was through my disguises, she would have been trying to kill me from the word go as soon as we met each other's. So,
I mean, unless she felt that it was impossible to kill you and that she could get more out of the information than attempting to.
well,
Suppose. Well, I mean, I suppose I can sympathize with Moonzic on the sense that he was incapable of finding some sort of true companionship or true reprieve from alter identities in which he could no longer consider himself.
I
And I
mean, that's
suppose
fair.
this was. I
Given that they
suppose
now
this
know
was.
our secret, our big secret, what do we, say we move towards even. We still have to negotiate so much about the finer details. They know so much about us already. I struggle to think what harm they could not cause us if they wish to leak information. They could link you back to the family in Phelan. They could link you back to a kingdom in Marquette. They could link you to pretty much everything we'd rather not be linked to. How do we turn this into any sort of advantage? Do we ask them to oversee or help us out? Be benefactors of some kind in return
I
for
do suppose that
dubious benefit?
I do suppose it is pretty cold to view this as a perspective of net gains or losses, but relative to our standing in this current world. Um, Again, like there is some emotional reprieve to be had in confiding with strangers, on
That's fair.
topics completely.
But at the end of the day, we have to think logically about the negotiations we're about to head into. And if we're going to be leaving all that on the table, well, we want things to go well, don't we? We just gave up so much leverage.
Okay. With those thoughts in mind, we are going to pick back up. Um, in
With Brian and
a
Edward not knowing what just happened.
yeah.
Or what?
um, we're going to pick back up to Moonzic and Ayla. That's right, right? Okay. Ayla. uh, lounging across a bed. Uh, Ayla starts to giggle.
What is so funny?
Well, I was just thinking how unique of an experience it is to share a bed with a prince.
Nothing will ever be quite the same again, will it?
No, definitely not.
Of course.
I do.
Oh, go
It
ahead.
does. Oh, I have to admit, it does make things more interesting.
Always interesting. Although, I do hate to ruin the mood, but you, again, I am trusting you with this. This kind of information, if it gets out, not only puts us in danger in some ways, but it could put you in danger as well. Are
Mm.
are you okay with that?
I mean, you really know how to complicate. Like, you really know how to mix the line between business and pleasure, huh? Uh, yes, I'm a little impressed. It does take guts to reveal something like that to someone who could just as easily sell the information to the highest bidder. Mm. And I understand she gets a little serious. This information does benefit me, and I know it puts you at risk. I very much hope to return the favor. Besides, where's the fun in ruining a perfectly intriguing mystery?
Well, you do know about our plans to, eventually at least, head towards Marquette and Ancorel. Do you have plans to go there yourself during all of this?
Like, personally, me? Um, I could be persuaded to.
You do know the risks that would be involved with going there.
Mm, I did. The problem is, I don't think I imagine myself traveling the world, meeting people, negotiating, being the face of my father's company. It I want to go out and explore the world. I want to see and experience and live. Although, given that I was kidnapped not that long ago, I highly doubt that my father is going to actually let me leave the house ever again.
Are you going to let your father dictate everything that you do?
No, of course not. There's going to be a time where I'm going to get fed up with it and go off, seek adventure, make some sort of very specific contract that requires me to go, or something along those lines. But it does kind of feel like a betrayal to my dad. I don't know.
Mm.
He's getting older, you know. Can see it. He's graying. He doesn't walk as well as he did. Part of me doesn't want to leave him. If I go off and have this big long adventure where I travel to other continents and meet cool and interesting people, does that mean that I am leaving him alone months on end, no contact?
Well, not completely no contact. We do have ways of reaching him to give him updates if that were to be needed. But
Are you implying you're taking me with you?
you were the one that said that you could be persuaded to go.
I mean, I could be.
Are you wanting to be persuaded? Or do you want to be near your father?
I don't know, Zaya. I really don't. I can't separate who I'm supposed to be with who I am. It does not make any sense at all. It's like I read all these stories about people being like two halves of themselves. Like, oh, you have the princess who doesn't want to be a princess and instead she wants to go off and be a farmer or whatever the fuck she wants to do. It's always better for them. They always do good not being who they were.
It comes down to which part of you weighs heavier. The innate kind of handed down lifestyle of your family, or what you want to do, what you want to do to feel free in this world.
The thing is I think that I'd be happy staying, taking care of family's business. I'm good at it. I would enjoy it being here. But part of me really wants to go explore, to go experience things. It's not like there's two separate sides of me. I don't think that that's quite right. Because I would enjoy doing both things. But I can't have both of them. So while in some ways I'd be happy to stay and I'd be happy to go, no matter what, I'm always going to be a little sad that I didn't choose the other.
There is that possibility as well that if you don't go, if we go to Marquette and if you don't come with us, we may never see each other again. I'm not saying that you have to stay with me once my goal has been completed, but
Huh. You are quite forward. To be honest, I didn't.
I'm not saying, I'm not promising anything. I'm just simply saying you could be there.
That is a lot. I mean, you did just put it all on the table there.
I'm offering you to come and experience the beginning of a new era in Ank'Harel. I don't know what you're trying to make of it.
You implied so much more than that, mister. Okay? You implied so much more than that.
Don't pretend like you didn't. And don't pretend like you didn't propose to indulge in each other.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You really don't, because you weren't there for that line.
No, she was. You didn't know she was, but she was.
No, she wasn't.
Well, I mean, not.
Wait,
Not really.
that 34 stealth is really coming in clutch.
34 stealth.
You know, I only said that I left. Do you know who gives out the stealth bonus?
um,
There's a very traumatized rock in the corner.
uh,
No, I kid.
With all of that
I mean,
aside, next course of action. I hate to ruin the mood yet again, but we do have
you're
to
quite
think.
good at it.
I am. You kind of have to be a ball buster when you run the Legati company, though. But
Gives her a
A
little.
small explosion can be heard from downstairs.
Perfect.
speaking of
Something
which,
ballbuster.
do worst question in the world. Do you think it's a good idea to let your father in on this secret as well?
Hmm.
Mm,
I mean, I guess that depends on what you want.
It would ensure that we're all on the same level and that we're not hiding anything. But does your father gossip much?
No, he is not known for his gossiping. He is an ear more than anything.
And if his daughter is anything to go off of, I think that he can be trustworthy too. I'll try.
Why even bother keeping it a secret at all? Why hide who you really are? I mean, there are many very, very powerful people in the Menagerie Coast who would be more than willing to get close to a far off land's prince. You could manipulate that. You could use that.
I could,
Get close.
especially considering the deplorable state that Ank'Harel is in right now. They could very well give me a lot of power, but up until that state of Ank'Harel, I I was just being. I had a bounty on me. It didn't matter if I was a prince or not. I was kind of being hunted. But with all the good deeds that I've done, and with Ank'Harel, the state that it's in, maybe I don't have to hide who I am anymore. Maybe maybe I can maybe I can stand tall on my own 2 feet and not another person's.
Hmm. Responsibility can be a heavy thing to bear. I'm sure it's easier to run from it, to pretend you don't care.
The thing is that I've never stopped caring. I have been in contact with my tutor Tai as often as she's able to communicate with me and giving me information on what's happening. I have never stopped caring about the people that live there. I've never stopped worrying about my mother, who is caught up in all of this. Who's, what I heard is, she's half the woman that she used to be. It's heartbreaking. I have been thinking ever since I've left, I need to get back there somehow at some point. I just don't have the power yet. I don't have the power yet. And maybe I still don't quite have it, but I'm closer. Closer than I've ever been. And I think if I wait anymore, things will just get worse. And the damage could become irreparable. I might have to take a risk and go for it.
Hmm. All right. Let's see what happens when you stop playing captain and start being a prince.
Yeah. Alright. I suppose I I'd better get my ball-busting hammer ready and see what the hell Brian is up to.
Another explosion from downstairs.
God damn it. Alright, I'm going.
As you get up, she reaches her hand out and says, "Are you sure you can't stay just a little longer?"
I suppose a few minutes, just kind of lazing about wouldn't hurt.
And fade to black. That's where we're gonna take a brief break. Go change my laundry. We'll come back, see what you guys get up to then.
Alright,
15.
sounds good.
To bust some balls.
Perfect timing to go. Yep. Moonzic's gonna bust Brian's balls. Sorry. Alright, I'll be right back.
Brian purposely making explosion noises to fuck with him.
Anybody still here?
I'm still here.
What thoughts do you have?
Interesting. It could be very, very useful. But also, we really do run into a face problem where everybody has some degree of face abilities.
Sure. One more time?
Everybody has a degree of face abilities.
Yeah.
Which could cause actually some problems of who wants to speak. Although, too many people that can speak for themselves is never a bad thing.
What in particular are you talking about? I'm kind of lost.
If Ayla comes and joins us in the trip to Marquette.
Oh, it's not like I would make Ayla a DC.
Yeah, I know. Still, it's interesting.
To me, it sounds like it could be a kind of an interesting scenario if you guys are traveling through your adventures, and I can totally see a possibility where you guys are just like gathering trusted individuals as you guys at the end of everything make your way to Marquette, like with like very strong and powerful people. It's kind of an interesting concept. It could be how you guys choose to end the campaign, but I foresee that being its own separate thing if that is what goes on, because there's a story here on Wildemount.
Yeah, but I like that as a concept for sure.
Alright, I'm back.
We're just chatting.
Yeah,
Welcome back.
thank you.
How do you feel about things, Cameron?
I'm liking this session. It's not very often that I've actually been Zaya. I've always been Moonzic, but now I'm like flirting with the idea of being a prince.
The idea of Flirting with
Flirting
the
with
idea
the
of
idea
flirting.
of Ayla.
Yeah,
Flirting
Brian
with
would
the-
probably know that more than anybody.
Ayla is short for I love the fact that I get to finally tell someone about the fact that I'm Moonzic.
More than that.
Yeah,
What
I
what
like this from a story
prompted
perspective.
what
Story
prompted you
perspective.
uh to make the decision, Cameron, to release information?
It was from Moonzic's perspective, like, yeah, he's been kind of hiding himself for a very long time, and it's kind of depressing. Even if he goes back to Ankarel and takes everything over, it's going to be an immediate shift of personalities from someone who's hiding themselves to being an openly public figure, and that can be kind of a rough transition. If he eases himself into it and he has a good idea up until he has a good idea of how to hold himself before he takes power, it'd be an easier transition. And you know, with Ayla asking pointed questions, that did make him take a look at who he was, who he wanted himself to be.
I have a different question for you.
Yeah.
What changes would you make if you did gain power?
What do you mean by gain power?
You gain power back, right?
Yeah.
What do you do with that power? You're the glorious leader now.
As the leader of Ankarel, the Ankarel as it is in a very deplorable state. Like, people are very distrusting of the king. So coming into that is going to be very hard for him. It's going to be... He's going to have to be open and be honest with people as well, and that's going to be rough. He's also going to have to try and, as much as his father might have hated the idea, he's going to have to help his own economy with some of the money that's been kind of hoarded away. Not give all of it away, but like, he has to do something with it instead of just sit
Well,
on it.
in order to stay in power, some of the money has to make it to key supporters.
That too, yes.
No man rules alone and all that.
Mm-hmm. But even so, like, giving money to key supporters, like, they still have a hoard of gold and treasure. He can give some of that out to help with his people.
True. Would
Yep.
you propose reforms?
More than likely.
All right, Moonzic, here's a weird question, but what happens if this whole revealing your identity backfires?
Well, there's no going back, so... Oh well. He still has the rest of the Gotti company by his side, and Dardek, and... presumably Ty? Question mark? And I have some other interesting story plots that I will need to touch on later. But if it backfires, he's not completely cooked. He doesn't know the backup plan quite yet, but there's sure to be some sort of backdoor.
Yep. All right. You think Moonzic will be... You think Ayla will be like a temporary addition and or permanent addition to our party the same way Nahiri is?
It's very possible.
I think even if she is that way, I don't think she'd have the same like style impact on the game.
Yeah, but like,
She'd
what
be
I'm
more
saying
on
is like,
she'd be more on par with like the wave chaser people. They are able to wield weapons. and actually
Well,
fight.
not only that, but like I kind of see it as like, you know how in video games you gather your allies of dependable people you can trust?
Yeah.
Could be like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I really like that idea. So thank you, Emily, for mentioning that as a possibility.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, that's kind of what you guys
It's,
start to
Or-
kind of do with Firewatch, right?
Yeah.
so we're
Yep.
rallying our
Crazy
troops.
theory. Crazy theory. But, I probably shouldn't say it.
No, please.
No, please.
No,
Yes,
probably
crazy
shouldn't.
thing.
Rocky, just don't glance. Just don't give a glancing blow to it. Come on, punch us straight in the
Let's go.
face.
Oh,
Spit it out.
okay. What if Ayla dies and Moonzic gets the ability to turn into Ayla?
Oh no.
That
I believe
A
it.
Oh, that would be traumatic.
little bit.
I know, but like, what if that's the power up we're talking about?
That is not a power up. That's a trauma.
That's just fucked.
I know, but it's like, I don't know. That's me with
Oh,
my
Rocky,
overactive imagination.
Rocky, why the fuck would you ever say that? I mean, come on, Rocky. You should have just not said anything.
Who the fuck asked you?
Yeah, why would you
You guys
possibly
literally
listen to
asked me.
us?
I was gonna say I wasn't gonna say that,
Why would you
but
possibly
now
say
you
that in
told me
front
to
of a
say it,
dungeon
so I did.
master? So now it can happen on your suggestion.
Hey! I'm not the one responsible. The
You
DM's the
are
one responsible.
definitely the one responsible.
I am not the one responsible for this. Okay. I would like to clear this up right now that even if it does happen, it's not on me. 100% not on me. I am at no fault here.
I just rewrote the entire campaign to hinge on that fact.
Okay, well, don't let me stop you.
I'm just kidding.
It's not my fault. I swear.
No, I'm blaming on you. It's your fault.
No, not my fault. I swear.
Okay. Cameron, can I assume that Moonzic spent the night?
Yeah.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
It's a little early. If you need
Did
some
we get
time.
a long rest?
Yes.
Okay. I have to let you know the things Brian gets
Yeah,
because
let's
of
do
long
that for the
rest.
next.
Let's do that right now.
Yeah.
We long resting?
Yes, long rest.
Okay.
Yippee!
Yippee!
Spell slots. We're unlimited.
4 potions of healing, 2 potions of AC, 2 potions of boldness. And the spell of the day for her ace card is haste.
Haste, okay.
No.
Haste is kind of a waste. Though.
Dispel magic.
What do you mean? What? Dispel magic? Already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Already have dispel magic.
I don't care.
Guess having more dispel magic users isn't terrible.
Yeah. My ace card is dispel magic.
Funny thing is that this campaign doesn't run enough like strong concentration spells to be worth using dispel magic all the time, even though I never unprepare it anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
whatever.
So when was the last time you guys saw me use dispel magic?
Ooh, interesting.
I don't expect to end up in combat, so I want a utility spell. Hence why I
Just
chose the spell
while you're
magic.
doing that, just give me 1 second.
Yeah, but there's
I'll be
like
right
a
back.
million different better utility spells. Hell, you can even pick up catnap, so I can stop running it.
Actually, yeah, I'll do that. If that's okay with you, Emily.
Sure.
Like, it's one of the few spells that allows you to use more spell per spell. Right?
Mhm.
Just because you're a warlock, and for no other reason, right?
I'm back. Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
All right. We all here?
Yep.
Please
Yep.
say an affirmative.
Hello?
Hey. The next morning.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. Welcome back to another episode of Subnautica, where today we will be
Okay.
licking the
Hey.
barnacles off
Okay.
Python's test.
Rocky.
So next morning, you all wake up and head to the previously pointed out to you, and reminded of dining hall. Do you wake up like on your own, or do you like sleep in? Tell me what you got here. Like, what's going on with your first long rest in a while?
Brian is always up early in order to mix potions, but she has stopped fucking around with the complex ones that can cause disturbances, and has instead focused on honing her ability on more basic ones, as she tends to each morning.
By up early, you mean like 2 a.m., right?
Yes, yeah.
So, short rest. No.
No, for four
She's an
hours is elf.
So,
half-elf,
so Moonzic, do
elvish
you
ancestor.
Moonzic, do you sneak back to your own room, or are you gone all night?
He's gone all night. He's gonna
Okay.
allow himself to be vulnerable.
Brian notices.
Right, notices. Smiles to herself. um, it is now the early hours of the morning, and there is a knock on the guest house door from the butler from before, alerting you all to breakfast being ready shortly, and to please join um, Master Finch outside. Well, excuse me, in the dining hall. As you get yourselves ready to go, uh, Moonzic. No, there's no hubbub of anything. You just make your way down to the dining hall. You can see from down the road there is a cart coming, and as it approaches, the two of you in the house, in the guest house, also hear a little bit of commotion from outside.
Oh, shoot. What is that?
Oh, it's delivery day.
Delivery day?
Don't pay. Yeah. We get updates from all of our mines across of Wildemount. They send in weekly reports. Um, so this is just this week's report.
Got it.
Other letters and packages also come too. We use a carrier, of course.
Makes sense. Are they joining us for breakfast as well?
I could always invite them, but usually no.
Okay. Well, with potentially revealing who I am to Mateo, I'd rather a more private audience, of course.
Private audience.
Just you and
She
Mateo.
eyes you. She
Oh.
eyes you up and down.
Ah, yes, haha, royal courts, very funny. You've
I
got
had
a
my own.
you have got a
I,
very
I,
witty sense of humor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's get ourselves sorted. Um, just come out a few minutes after me if you would.
Sure,
um,
I
and with
understand.
that, she struts her way out her room.
Roll a stealth check.
No, that's her.
You are in her private quarters, alone. Is there anything that you would like to do here?
He just kind of wants to take a look around and just kind of get a vibe for the room. Like, what kind of room is this? Besides the fact that it's a
She
bedroom.
Yeah. Now in the light of day, you can see she has quite the collection of books. Uh, and a desk that is like facing out the window, so that she can constantly look outside and see what's going on. Things are cozy and warm. Um, a rather large bed, fluffy feather pillows, um, and you do you do see that she's got like a large wardrobe, uh, and there is a corner mirror that's like trifold, uh, set up, and hats that are hung on the wall.
Wow.
That's just the room.
Otherwise, like, he's not gonna snoop about her or anything like that. That's her own private room. It'd be an absolute betrayal if he just kind of snooped through it.
Speaking of snooping, the other party.
Hi. Yo, we're snooping snooper. Brian is snooping. Edward wants to snoop, but doesn't have permission to snoop. Not that you needed permission to begin with, but
I have done no such snooping this morning.
yeah,
I
this.
hear
I
the
love how you
cart.
had to add this.
Well, yeah, of course. Everybody knows I was snooping last night.
So you guys make it out and start making your way to the house, for where dining will be taking place. And as your timing lines up just about the time that that cart arrives, uh, carrying many, many parcels of things and whatnot. And you see a kind of youngish boy um, interacting with the horses as they've stopped and are a little restless. Whoa there, settle yourself down.
Well, Brian doesn't know what's going on, so she's gonna come out. Oh, good morning.
Hello. Um, I have your guys' deliveries for today. You see, he kind of goes into the cart and starts looking through. Edward, what's your pass? Oh, Edward and Brian, what are your passive perceptions?
14.
13.
Okay, 14. You said.
Yep.
Perfect. Perfect. Even better. Um. So, this. Wow, this couldn't be better. It's almost like I planned it. he begins to sort through some of the parcels in the back of this cart. All of them have names of people in certain locations. And he begins kind of stacking a pile of them, ready to go. And as he picks one up and moves it over to the side, Edward, you see a fairly large package, but with a name that you recognize. And that name is Fenrir Shinebright. It appears that this package is going to Fenrir Shinebright.
Oh. Can I make any other details or contents for the package now that it's piqued my curiosity?
It's a box. It didn't appear to be too terribly heavy. And there is a letter that is kind of wrapped in twine around it. It looks hastily put together, like it needed to be get out fast.
Okay. Okay. There's something really cool I want to do. And I don't know if I want to do it. I'm gonna walk kind of near the package, and you said this, like, this household, like, deals with crystals and minerals and, like, rare metals and, mined goods, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go near it. I want to cast locate object, and then I want to sort of intentionally, deliberately put a vague thing in order to locate the nearest thing of that object. And just by making a vague guess of what's in the box, I want to search for gemstones or, like, some sort of mineral. And locate the nearest mineral while deliberately standing near the box to see what's inside.
Yeah. So it does come as some sort of I like where you're going with this. I see what you're going for, and I'm going to give you, I think, a little bit of information that's, I don't know. I don't have the language to describe it. So, you can tell that inside of this box there appears to be soil and other rocks. It doesn't
Oil
sense like there's
and what?
anything like soil and rocks and the like. There doesn't appear to be
Okay.
any gems inside this box, which is
Oh,
rather curious because they sell a lot of gems. And there isn't any one particular kind of metal or anything like that inside this box. It is literally soil and stone.
okay. I'm assuming this is like a mineral sample, right? Like a sample of, like, soil composition and stuff in order to, like, I don't know.
That is an assumption.
That is an assumption, and we'll leave it at that because I can't inquire more about. I mean, I could actually. I'm going to ask him. Is this package by any chance headed towards a fellow named Fenrir Shinebright?
He looks at it. It sure seems like it. That's got his name on there. Are you
He's actually a fellow acquaintance of mine. We used to sit up up all afternoon discussing about theories pertaining to polyplanal transit theory and the like. It's really knowledgeable on this topic.
Good for you.
May I inquire as to the purpose of this package? I mean, I'm
I
assuming it's something related to his studies.
honestly, I just deliver them.
Oh,
He kind of
fair
like
enough, I see. Well,
um
give him my regards, will you?
oh, sure, absolutely. Who are you?
Oh, my name is Edward. You can tell him that, Edward said hi.
It'll cost 2 silver.
Insight check.
Okay, roll an insight check.
11.
I mean, 2 silver sounds pretty average. I mean, it's a
It kind
long
of, I
journey.
don't know. To me, it kind of sounds like it costs 0 money to, like, say hi to someone, so I'm not going to. Because it kind of sounds like he's trying to scam me out of 2 silver.
He's a delivery boy. He has to deliver stuff. So if you're delivering a greeting, that's a delivery.
That is technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Well, I'm still not gonna pay him 2 silver, because I know.
Very
Um,
fair.
For reference, I have 3 copper pieces and 4 silver pieces. This is like a little bit less than half
We
the
are
amount of
we
total.
we have not collected any profits from the toll road yet, or at least not officially.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
is like just a little bit less than the half amount of funds that I have.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So,
could try to persuade him.
no, I'm good.
I'm gonna give you something here. You're a divination
Yeah.
wizard. That gives you a certain insight into something. Something tells you that you need that box.
Something tells me that I need that box.
Yes, like a tickling in the back of your head. That box
Okay.
is important.
Okay, I'm going to, I guess, say to him. Well, I mean, actually, I was about to head back to Firewatch Island myself, and this box in itself is, and I mean, this box itself can be delivered in my hands, I suppose. If you'd like, I can pick up the box and drop it off for you.
Sure, what would my reputation be if I just gave packages to people? Sorry. No.
Brian's gonna pike up. What would your reputation be if you just gave packages to people? For sure, I understand that. But what would our reputation be if we couldn't give better service to one of our closest friends? I mean,
You know what your reputation is. I'm sorry, but
we are the
I have a
we are the
delivery
leg-
thing.
excuse me, young man.
Excuse me?
We are the Legati company.
No!
We just
I'm gonna sort of like put my hand over Brian. Like, it's okay, it's okay. I understand what he's making. I mean, I was going to stop by
do
Fenrir
I
Shinebright. I couldn't exactly find the best excuse to find him. Perhaps, maybe you can drop the parcel by me. You can enjoy some free time, and I'll deliver it on your
He's
behalf.
already saying he won't do that, Rocky. What the fuck? Sorry,
Okay, I was
I'm
going to try to
unhappy
convince
because I
you.
was straight up talked over 4 times there.
Okay, I mean, okay, I mean, I was.
And that includes in game. Like Brian has reason to be angry at this not nosed little
Okay.
brat.
Okay.
Can I apologize for jumping. I would like to actually be able to say something here because I have a reason to believe I might actually be able to convince him. Will I be allowed to? Is the question I have.
What are you saying?
I
Are you
did not
asking?
feel like I had the right to speak.
I was just role playing with you.
Okay.
He was interrupting you.
Okay. And then I got interrupted by Edward and sorry. Yes. I understand you're a delivery company. I also know Fenrir Sandbite happens to be just off the coast of an island that we own. You can easily find that information. We are also the Legati company, the company largely responsible for handling the demon threat in Nicodranus earlier. We have a reputation to uphold. We also have a fellow that we need to talk to, and a package that needs to make its way to him. We are simply offering to take a package that would take months otherwise there in a matter of days. And yes, we have that ability. We have shown similar feats of travel, especially back to that area, multiple times. You can also find that evidence in stories. We have a reputation to uphold just as stringent as your business does. We protect things, we protect people. If a package were to go missing under our hold, that would do more damage to us than it would to you. No? Whatever form of evidence you need for who we are, well, Edward has a badge of law keeping for the Menagerie Coast that includes his name, and I have any number of pieces of paperwork to prove the legitimacy of our business.
So, are you guys robbing me, or? Because look, I'm not supposed to just like it doesn't matter who it is. I'm not just supposed to give packages to people.
How much did you get paid to send that package?
That package in particular, well, it came. He looks at it. From Morrow Valley, up near the Dunrock Mountains. I mean,
So?
it cost them probably at least 25 gold.
Right. And you saw how much money of that? The delivery boy?
I am just working.
Right. What I am suggesting is that, especially since it's probably at the end of your route, you would be able to have days less travel, much less risk. All for trusting a party who has given you every ounce of evidence to believe that you could ruin their reputation if it did not get there. It will get there in much less time, much less likely to be robbed by highwaymen. No, we are not robbing you. If you wish to leave with the package and trek for another week and cross and hopefully make the dangerous journey yourself, go. By all means. But it simply seems more effective. We want to help out our friend, and we have a way of doing that. A win-win.
He roll me a persuasion check. Let's say it's a high DC still.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Ooh, natural. Okay, can I
You want to
my
do
thing?
anything?
What was that about? Brian
And-
does her best while snooping around.
Nope. Apparently not convincing around.
Rocky, you can do
Can
your
I
thing.
do my thing now?
Yeah.
Okay, so as I was saying, like, I come up to him and I say,
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
Oh,
like,
sorry. I
like,
thought
like,
you were.
the
could've
journey-
You could have just forced a 17 on it, but okay.
I didn't know you're gonna roll. I can't force it after, like, you roll. Plus, you have a +7. You didn't ask for important, right? I'm
Okay.
going to say,
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to help out with your thing. But... Yeah.
I was gonna do my thing anyway. It's fine.
Okay.
I mean, like, like the journey from here all the way down to, like, like all the way down to Broken Bank or that general vicinity is a really long time. I suppose. I mean, since I have good reason to stop by, wouldn't it be nice if you just took off some time for yourself, and take that time that would have been spent traveling there instead to just take a break for a while? And I'm going to lace that comment with suggestion.
So for suggestion, he has to.
Yes. I will force important on his save. To A10.
To a 10. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. He fails. Yeah, you know what? All right. I think I deserve a few days. Oh, okay. Well, remember, keep it safe. It's my reputation on the line if it doesn't get there.
No worries. I guarantee you that this parcel will be delivered into the hands. No questions asked, and also in a unrealistically fast amount of time, if you catch my drift. I'm gonna wink at him. I mean, after all, you are dealing with a pupil of polyplanal transit theory.
Oh, sure. Just tell him that just when it arrives there, just tell him the USPS was happy to help them get their package on time swiftly.
Are we allowed to use that?
Oh, USPS stands for Ultra
UPS.
Speedy Package Service.
Okay.
Ultra Speedy
No
Package
problem.
Service.
No problem.
He
Right,
finishes.
and I'm going to gladly take the package.
Oh, and can you sign for this for me?
Of course, I'm gonna. Yeah, and I'm gonna pull out my ink pen and I'm going to sign.
Okay. As he leaves the packages that he delivered on the front porch, basically, like having had you sign for it. And he goes away. He rides off.
Take care. Don't forget to treat yourself a little. As I send him off.
Waves goodbye.
Another
There's
package
There's now all of these
successfully
boxes.
handed.
Yes. The parcel perusers.
Okay. Do you tuck the package away for later, or do you just tear it open right now?
I'm gonna tuck it away for later.
Okay.
I mean, is it like neatly wrapped? Is it
No, it
like,
was
what is it?
hastily put together. There's a letter on top that's kind of tied onto it with twine.
I'm
Is there like a
sorry.
seal stamped on it to prevent it from having people snoop?
You could pretty reasonably open it. It was
Yeah,
hastily.
I guess I'll just read a little and snoop.
Okay. In that case, oh my god, I have to realize and put a typo in there. All right. You all. Did you just pop up?
Yep, I see it.
Dear Fenrir, I hope this letter finds you well, though I doubt the contents will bring you much peace. I write to you as a peer and as someone who respects your expertise in planar anomalies. My team and I uncovered
Anomalies.
something extraordinary and deeply troubling in the depths of the Dunrock Mountains during a routine mining expedition. We first noticed it in the air, a faint hum, almost like music, but dissonant. Then, as we delved deeper, we saw the fractures, thin, shimmering cracks running through the rock, glowing faintly as if alive. At first, we thought it was some new type of gemstone or a vein of precious ore, but when one of my workers accidentally touched it, Fenrir, he vanished. There was no flash of light, no sound, just gone. We tried to recover him, but the crack seemed to widen slightly, pulsating with this unnatural energy. I swear I could hear whispers coming from it, though none of us could understand the words. We abandoned the site that day, but it's been haunting me ever since. I've spent weeks studying the maps and geological surveys of the area. What's strange is that the surrounding land doesn't appear to be affected. At least, not yet. But I believe these cracks are more than they seem. They are breaches. I suspect they lead to another plane, though to where I cannot say. If my theory is correct, this is not an isolated incident. I fear that what we uncovered in the Dunrock Mountains could be a part of a larger network, slowly spreading beneath the surface of Exandria. If anyone can confirm or refute my fears, it's you. I beg you to investigate further, for if this is what I think it is, the material plane itself may be unraveling at the seams. But tread carefully. I've already lost good people to the fractures, and my own nights are haunted by dreams of the void beyond. I've enclosed sketches of the site and samples of the stone for your analysis. Please, Fenrir, do not ignore this. We may not have much time. Yours in urgency and caution, M.P.
Can I recall if there's like anybody named MP or like that these initials would stand for with my keen mind?
Yeah. MP is the author of several polyplanal transit theory journals that have been distributed. Not the most known in the field, right? But has released a few theories. They appear to be more of it's like a hobbyist, right? If that makes sense, who's like really dedicated, but not by any means a scientist proper. If that makes sense.
Okay, so he's an accomplished hobbyist, who's published many books, right?
I mean, yeah, like a few takes, right? In some of the uh
Okay,
in some of the
what about the
you know
package? Yeah, I'm
inside the
going to
package.
neatly. Yeah, okay, first I'm gonna neatly fold the letter and then seal it back into the envelope even like, even neater than it was before when it was hastily put in, right? And I'd like to see like how's the package? Is it wrapped like conspicuously? Is it like, like hastily
Yeah,
wrapped? Is it
again, it just like the letter. It was kind of put together. It doesn't take much effort. There's no really ripping or
uh,
tearing that you have to do to
yeah.
open up the box. Inside, indeed, is some rock and soil samples.
Can I cast identify on it?
Sure.
Alright, I'm gonna do that. If you want, I can ping the spell into
Um,
chat. I'm gonna
there.
ritually cast identify.
Okay. Uh, you touch it. It's a magic item. So in doing this, you find out that these are in fact regular soil and stone samples. Um, with identify, there's nothing that you really gather from like there's no magical energies that are currently affecting the um there are currently no magical energies that are affecting the soil. Um, and that feels very strange if they did get a sample of that kind of energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So right now they're mundane and
Yeah,
requires
they are
further
mundane.
investigation.
I
Yeah.
mean, again, it feels odd that they mentioned this magic and there is not like the soil doesn't seem to be affected by it.
About the
Full
stone
stop.
samples.
Same.
Okay.
And it seems almost contrary to what the
letter was kind of saying, which is odd.
Okay.
I think we should talk to Fender about this, no?
Yeah, of course. And as I'm doing this, I'm going to neatly wrap up the box, like, even better than it was before, so that it, like, looks pretty, like, tidied up and prim and, like, neat. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I suppose we could, take a quick trip, back to Broken Bank and visit our old friend.
Do I still have the flower? Does the other group?
The other group has the flower.
Never mind. No quick trip then.
I mean, it's not that far to Nicodranus. And you do know, just side note, you do know that Nahiri has set up shop. She has like a shop set up in Nicodranus for her tattoo park.
Well, we can always go see Nahiri.
I suppose.
We just have
mean,
to
I don't-
finish up here. Shouldn't be too much longer, as long as Moonzic wasn't so head over heels that he accidentally let the entire cat out of the bag.
What do you mean?
Glad
cat
that
out
you're
of the
all here
bag?
for breakfast. By the way, I fell head over heels completely for her, and I've let the entire cat out of the bag.
Damn it!
Okay, that was out of character. That was out of
Yes,
out
I
of
know.
order.
I would suggest you remain calm and
Uh,
procure proper precautions and necessary steps in order to re-enter the cat into the bag. Whatever the hell that means.
That is murder.
not but a moment later you
No,
see
that's
the
capture.
not a moment later you see the short butler kind of like walk their way outside and look at you and say, that boy is already gone. It's a shame. Um, and he begins to start carrying the packages inside. Um, you all are expected inside. Did you need an escort?
Oh, not at all. Just discussing a few things. Thank you for letting us know.
My pleasure.
And we head inside.
Um,
I very quickly want to apologize for reacting the way I did. I was frustrated first because I thought I was muted. The interruption was so seamless, it made me feel like I was having like mic troubles, and that was pissing me off. And then I realized I wasn't, but I had already been checking my mic and all of that stuff. So, I don't know in the future how we can do interruptions that don't make me feel like I'm having mic problems. Because but that is one of the difficulties of playing on online, you know.
true.
Yep.
So again, I apologize. I did not mean to get so heated.
Oh, well, that's fine. I mean, I did try to stop you from, like, like making that persuasion check because I did want to make the suggestion check first, and, like, that would have saved me a spell slot, right? If it succeeded, so sorry about that. Like, I was the one trying to, like, get ahead with my own thing.
Yeah, and I apologize too. I could have
Yeah.
just listened to what you were doing. It was your moment after all. So, yeah.
No, that's fine. It's cool.
With that cleared up out of the way, you all begin to sit yourselves down for breakfast. Yeah.
Ooh, hell yeah. Tell us what we're eating in great detail.
Cool. You're
Down to every
cool.
position of the pulp fibers in our orange juice.
Oh,
Good
also, what
God.
was that delivery boy's name?
He didn't say. Um,
That's a pretty good way to get
Okay.
out of that one.
Yeah.
We'll get her next time.
Okay.
Also, you will be quizzed on this. Whatever you say for breakfast now, I'll ask you later while mentioning that I have the photographic memory feat.
That's
Okay.
just mean.
I know, I'm kidding. That is mean. I'm not going to bully the DM with keen mind.
Okay. So I'm gonna say, you sit down for a nice meal of fried bread, eggs, and bacon. Uh,
How are the
and
eggs done?
to your preference.
Ooh.
They're well done. How
Fancy.
about that?
What? What?
They're well done.
Well done. So they're
Yeah,
chickens.
How do you?
they're
What?
premature.
Does Edward not know how to food?
You sit down, everybody gets their plate, and there's tea on the table. Uh, and Mateo says, "I'm glad that you all are here today. Uh, thank you all again for our meeting last night. It was wonderful. And are you sitting next to Ayla?"
I
Ooh.
just saw an empty chair. I figured any chair would do. Am I am I not allowed to sit next to Ayla? I can move.
No, no, just please ignore me. Uh,
I thought that was a DM question.
it was a DM question, but then I tried to like make it not because
You know what? I'm gonna own that.
um.
Do it.
Regardless, let us feast. This is
Akitakimasu.
Takuma. Okay, so you all are sitting at the breakfast table. This is a fantastic opportunity if you would like to bring things up with the group and slash or with Ayla or Mateo as a total, as a whole. Uh, is there anything that immediately comes up?
You two seem relatively close to each other for the brief moment of time in which we spent together.
Well,
Uh, what makes you say that? Because
Insight check.
okay, do an insight check.
uh, I'm never gonna get tired of
I'm
saying
gonna
that.
reverse portent that. I'm gonna make you roll a 1.
Do an
No, that
insight
is
check.
just a regular portent. If you're reverse portenting it, that makes it anything but a 1.
Fuck.
Rocky, roll an insight check.
Yeah, I'm opening my page. Got like
Uh,
30 different tabs. And
with a 10, what does oh, actually you said
To
it to
Ayla.
Ayla, didn't you? Uh, she says, no, she kind of
Whatever do you mean?
leans forward, her elbow on the table, uh
their
her
hand wrapped around
hand
Moonzic.
Oh my
with
god.
with uh with her head in her hand, uh, and says, to kind of in a almost mocking sort of way, says to you, Edward, um, you seem to have taken sudden interest in me.
No,
You've
not
got this,
particularly, but it's very rare to see Moonzic get along with sudden strangers. I mean, he's usually aloof in this type of matter.
She kind of glances over at you, Moonzic, and kind of smiles.
That is true. I am usually more aloof, aren't I, Edward? Although, I suppose I should make one thing clear. I don't necessarily want to be aloof with this relationship between us and your family, Mateo. Your company.
Pleased to hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I said I'm pleased to hear that.
There is one thing about me that you must know, but I must have your word that it will not, words will not get out.
A
Brian
man
looks
is nothing without his
visibly
word.
shocked.
What does Mateo say?
A man is nothing without his word. He's eyeing you.
Then,
Ooh.
Moons, I guess Fernando kind of pushes
My
back.
daughter will not be leaving my house.
No, 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 no. You misunderstand. That is not what I am trying to say. And the music kind of has to like visibly reset after that. No. What I mean to say is he kind of pushes back from the table and stands up. My name is not truly Fernando Suarez. That is a front. You've probably heard of the man Chim Liam. He is also one of my disguises.
Disguises.
He looks over toward. He looks kind of back and forth. He looks over towards his friends Edward and Brian first, and then he looks back over at Ayla as well. Yes, the story is a long one, but well, perhaps I better just start with the name and the face first. And here he does do the flare with the wind, and he transforms from Fernando to his normal self as Moonzic. I am sorry for having deceived you for so long, but it is true that was a disguise. The name that my friends commonly refer to is Moonzic Mirai, but that as well is not my real name. My real name is Zaya Dolbinzi. I am the older son of the late King of Ankarel, Turkmese Dolbinzi.
Can I cast detect thoughts and get a general vibe check of the room, or specifically Ayla and his dad?
What check are you doing in? Say it one more time.
Detect thoughts, just a general
And he's doing a
emotional
vibe check.
Okay. Detect thoughts, surface level thoughts. Ayla seems excited and proud. Of Moonzic. Also, there's a tinge of nervousness. Mateo. Mateo seems interested. His brain. He seems like he's calculating, like he's doing math. He his pragmatic nature makes him kind of lean back, and his eyes narrow as you can see a flicker of a smile behind his eyes. And he leans forward and says, so, you're not just an adventurer, a prince.
A
Wait, hold on. Sorry. Did I skip forward?
No, you did not.
Okay. A prince, Zaya of Ankarel.
That is correct. Although currently I am more or less a prince in exile. As I have stated before, my father has passed away decently recent, and my younger brother has currently ascended a throne while I've been here in Wildemount for going on 5 years now.
Uh, he says, he leans forward and clasps his hands together and looks at you. I must admit, I did not expect this. I had assumed you were hiding something, but not this. He kind of,
Most people that meet one of my disguises usually thinks that I'm hiding something, and they are correct. But what I've been hiding has essentially been my entire world, my entire life. And it's I'll be forward with it. I do intend on returning to Oncorel. It might not happen immediately, but I will return there and I will take power back. And I wanted you to learn of this so you weren't completely blindsided by it. Like I said, I want your company to trust me. I want you to trust me.
Said while looking at his daughter.
Meanwhile, looking at his
uh,
daughter, you know what? Yeah.
Yeah,
to
let's go
think
with it.
I've been doing business with an heir to a kingdom. This changes things. But then again, I suppose you didn't want. He kind of starts to mutter a little bit to himself, but still talking to you. Then again, I suppose you didn't want anyone to know. Understandable, considering the situation in Nalkarel currently. A kingdom torn apart, a lost prince. There's plenty to lose in that game.
And not necessarily lost in the sense that I just kind of fled in the night. Although, sort of I did. I fled because I was turned in for a good deed that I did. I helped a Firbolg family recover some funds that was stolen from them while on the road trying to find a doctor for their relative. I took from my family's own treasure trove, and my brother turned me in for it, and my father was to have me executed. Thanks to my mentor, she helped me to escape that prison and learn the ways of thievery, as it were. I am a skilled thief. I am not going to shirk away from that. But just because I fled here does not mean I've stopped caring about my people. And it is time I start living that life.
You're not the first noble to try to escape the weight of their crown. He's at this point, he's standing up and pacing. But he looks at you. Let's not pretend that doesn't have value. You have something that can change the course of that region. People like you don't just disappear. Like you said, whether you like it or not, your name will carry weight. He turns and says, I'm not here to make you into something that you're not. But I'd be a fool not to recognize the potential you represent. And he kind of leans back. I suspect that you'll need allies. Someone who can help you navigate all of this. Kind of smiles a little. And I've
Yes.
built my own empire in this region through business. He looks over at Ayla. Imagine what we could do if we had a prince on our side.
While he's thinking of the schemes, I would like to prod his mind deeply, and I would also like to force a portent of a 9.
Okay, so you're
Like,
gonna
what is he
prod,
scheming?
but he will know this, that you're doing this, right?
No, if I fail, he knows. If I fail, then he will know. If he
Oh,
If he
okay.
doesn't,
succeeds,
like,
he'll
yeah,
know. If he fails, he won't know.
For some reason, yeah,
yeah, and
sorry.
it's a
And
9 on the portent.
For some reason, I thought it was the person affected. So you
Yeah,
forced
and the
it
DC
to.
16, so, like, unless he has a +7 to wisdom saves, then he's fine.
No.
Well, I'm fine.
I'm just reading through.
Very wise merchant.
I would be scared of about a +7. That's actually absurdly too
I
likely
mean,
at this
that's still
level.
information in itself,
Um,
right? And if not, I
True.
can, like, leverage this as a threat.
Brian is like full on scanning for danger here. She's not like stopping she's not like looking to stop this, but she's like,
Oh, wait, no,
if
it's an
I'm
intelligence.
needed,
What am I saying?
yeah,
if
I was so
It's my
confused.
bad. Okay, my bad. That doesn't change it. I'm still going to use a portent die, and I'm going to force an intelligence check on the portent of 17 plus my intelligence modifier, so 22. I think that passes.
I'm so lost on this spell. I feel really dumb. Like I'm struggling
I thought it was
reading.
a save. I was
I
under
thought
the
it was a
impression it
No,
was
save.
a
no, it's
save.
not a save. I read
Okay,
the
for the
spell
re-
save DC, but
I'm-
like on the bottom of the spell card, but no, it's an
uh,
intelligence check. Make a check and it's contested with them. And whoever gets the
Mm,
higher one wins. And then if they win, I know I'm
the
prodding in their
tar-
mind.
Fuck
But
off,
they know.
Rocky.
If I
Okay,
win, then I know they're
Rocky,
yeah.
stop. Sorry, but you got it wrong. As an action, you can either shift your attention to another creature's thoughts or attempt to probe deeper into the same creature's mind. If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, its emotional state,
Okay.
something that looms large in its mind. Uh, if it succeeds, the spell ends. So, you're forcing a 9. Your spell
Forcing a
save
9 on
DC
his wisdom.
16. You
My spell save
the
is yeah. So it's
so
17 actually. Because I have the
oh
+1 from the
it does fail. And I see how you were phrasing it now, but it got me really fucking confused because you kept saying that you're making it, and it really
yeah,
messed with me. Uh,
sorry about
but
that.
okay. Mateo is definitely thinking right now about uh how he can use this kind of like he's basically saying his thoughts out loud uh about what he could do if he had some extraordinary powerful leader of a country, right, to negotiate with, had his he has their ear, uh and he is excited at that kind of prospect. uh
Like excited as in like he is like excited that he has the possibility of turning, you know, like Moonzic in.
No, he has
No, no.
But like
no. He does not. Not that he's excited to turn him in. That he can get a financial boon and, more importantly, a reputational boost.
Mm-hmm.
Right. That he will take him from being a powerful merchant to a noble. Right. And a noble with money. And
okay.
that is a huge status boost for him and his family and his business, and really adds a lot of uh, political consequence to his money, and he likes that.
Okay, so this is a lucrative opportunity.
Very much so.
But then again, there is some doubts there, like of course, these things are risky. But he thinks that he is smart enough to make it, even if it ends up not working out, to still make it worth his while.
Okay. Does he have like some sort of propensity to lean towards helping Moonzic or helping forces that oppose Moonzic? In terms of like, what he thinks at the moment is like, the natural course of action.
So okay, looking through his thoughts, you can see that he currently does not have a touchdown, like a base of anything in Ankarel, right? He just happens to know before other merchants in Wildemount do that Ankarel is in a moment of flux, right? There's some changes that are happening, and that he is seeking to capitalize on that idea that there are changes that are happening in Marquette, and to try to use those as a way to get a base set up there and expanding. Uh, and even locally, right? Having a powerful foreign body, trust you and like spread that knowledge and whatnot, it could set up it can set up a person for life.
We get him an
Eh,
in on like, a foreign opportunity, right?
not just like a foreign opportunity, but it also look good here, right?
Yeah.
It turns the company into uh one that actually has more political weight, and his family have political weight. Uh and there is a flickering thought of his daughter being a queen. Not gonna lie, that flickers through his
Oh my
thoughts.
god.
Just he doesn't linger on it, but it flickers.
Okay, so like he did a whole 180 on the Ayla thing. Got it.
Like, yeah, again, it's not a
Okay, he
180. He's
did like
not
a
like
90.
marry
It's like a
my
90.
daughter, but like it was a flickering thought that would be good for the family name, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get
Anyway,
that.
um, so he says, imagine what I could do if I had a prince on my side. And he looks at Ayla. And then back at you, Moonzic.
I would like to think that even if you didn't know it, you've had a prince on your side from the start.
He kind of gives you a smile. I understand where you're coming from. Why you would express this now. Obviously, tensions are tight in Ankara, but it's going to take a bit of time for me to do some rearranging of resources, looking at my options. I need to make some adjustments if I am planning on expanding like this. But I want to make it clear. I don't want you to mistake my words. I'm not asking you to rule. Simply asking you to realize that your position has its uses. I could help you if you let me. I can make that decision right now. I know where your loyalties lie, whether to your people or to the life you've chosen now.
So,
Sorry.
if I do ask you to help me, what is it that you're seeking in return?
In return, I expect loyalty. Nothing more, nothing less. I can help you understand your kingdom, the people, your family, potentially get you there. And in return, loyalty. The choice is yours. You see, his eyes are like he is so very excited at the prospect of pushing this further. Uh,
Brian hears loyalty as a price, and every primal instinct in her says it like you can see on her face whatever they have to offer, loyalty unchecked is never. And it's like a visceral reaction you can see on her face, as if it's been drummed into her beyond anything else.
what would she say aloud?
She stays quiet, but you look if you see her face, it looks like she's been smacked by like an old memory.
You use loyalty as such a vague term. I would like to give you my loyalty as a friend, not necessarily someone who owes you a debt. It is quite a hefty debt I would definitely
I
give you.
I do not don't don't mistake my words. I simply mean that you would give me in return the opportunity to show the people of Marquette of my wares, what I'm capable of, my company, my daughter.
I believe that could be arranged. We could definitely work things out that way. I will definitely need uh I will definitely need some precious metals to help things along as I help the economy in Ankarel get back on its feet. I think we could make this work.
It has been an absolute pleasure doing business with you. He reaches his hand out to shake yours.
And Moonzic will give he's never really made this kind of deal as like any kind of power other than a captain of a company, so he does give a little bit of a nervous but excited grin as he extends his hand and meets Mateo's for a firm shake.
When you reach your hand out to shake his, uh, you feel a deeper connection, one that like something kind of ignites as your hand latches in his, and you feel a warmth um, up your arm, and kind of like spreading, and uh, you know that he will keep his word. Deep
And
inside, you know he's going to keep his word because you feel magic pulsing through your veins.
and
He's
I
keeping his word.
in that in that moment I take my other hand and I hold the other side of his hand with it as like a double-handed shake, I guess.
He's a
Okay.
paladin.
As you let go of your hands, uh, you you feel that magic tingly sensation fade away.
You are quite an interesting man, Mr. Finch.
I do hope so.
Now, speaking of other business matters, there are some unfinished conversations, no?
Before we move on, I need you to roll me an Arcana check.
Moonzic?
Ooh.
Yes, Moonzic.
19.
Wow.
Ooh, very nice.
Wow. Nice. Very nice.
Okay, that's really
Um,
good.
that's very nice. So with a 19, you know that whatever magic just happened there, that binding, right? That magic came from you. That wasn't something that he did. That came from within you.
Moonzic's going to realize this, and for a split second, he kind of goes into himself, and then he kind of shakes it away as he's trying to focus on the task at hand. And everyone, like, at least Edward and Brian for sure, and Ayla can probably pick up on it as well, that he shook something away.
Yeah, he's Rogue 8, Sorcerer 0.
Or Ayla pipes up. She says, "Are you okay?" She kind of like reaches her. She kind of steps up and kind of pats your back. You don't look very good.
Don't I? No, it was just a passing thought. I'm okay. Thank you.
Uh,
I have a question.
yeah. What's up?
Being a warlock, am I able to recognize magical deals a little bit more readily than others might?
I know for a fact that Brian, you do have intimate experience with what magical deals look like. You spent quite a bit of time researching them uh, in downtime a while back. In regards to like the broker and things like that. Um, so I'm going to say what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you roll a an Arcana check with advantage using um, the fact that you have studied magical deals and would be able to recognize one more easily than the average person.
Even the average mage.
So with a 24,
24.
with a
Wow.
24, you see you can feel in the air a magical binding as they shook hands, coming uh, from Moonzic's from Moonzic's heart, but his core, right? He a soft flowing of magical uh, aura, I guess. That's the vibe. You can't
And
really
I
see
and
it.
I can tell like the directionality
Yeah,
is focused upon
it is
Mateo.
coming. It is coming from Moonzic and reaching over via handshake to kind of grasp um Mateo. So this magical deal, whatever, seems to be Moonzic, not Mateo.
Brian's eyes are gonna widen a little bit, and then she's not gonna say anything at this point, but she's just gonna she's being uncharacteristically quiet.
And Well, he says, let us leave business away from this table, and enjoy our meal. Is there anything else anybody would like to bring up during breakfast?
So, Brian, what were those
Um,
explosions last night?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't
She gives him this look like, drop it.
don't pretend that. Fine, later then.
I did have a question for you. Actually, for uh, you, Ayla. And
Yes.
it was based, actually, first off of Mateo's initial reaction when Moonzic. You don't mind if I continue calling you by the name I'm used to, right?
I don't mind at all. You're one of my closest friends. Even if I become king of Ank'Harel, I don't mind if you call me Moonzic.
Well then, the initial reaction to Moonzic's reveal was Ayla is not leaving the house again. My question was to you, Ayla. From what I saw, both in the Trolls camp, where you looked downright ready to take on 20 were-rats and 4 fire elementals with your hands tied behind your back, that does not seem like that would be your first choice. Am I wrong?
She glances at her father and says, Daddy, you know.
Oh no. Oh no!
there it
Okay,
is.
Oh, she brings out the. Oh no.
No, I love it. I love it.
Oh fuck.
Oh, no. Let her continue.
Daddy, you know how much I I love you and how much I enjoy spending time here, but I can't deny that I I have an itch for exploration. And I know that recent events put things in question, but I don't want to leave you. I don't want to leave you alone with everything, especially with mom not here. So I'll stay if you want me to. Mateo, uh, maintaining eye contact. You can see Edward that he is saddened. He is horrified. He's a little embarrassed. He's worried, right? He's scared, obviously. Uh, and he doesn't want to be alone. But you know that that what he wants more than anything else is for Ayla to be happy. And if it would make her happy, he would do it. But he says out loud, this this is off the table. I need time with you. We can discuss it more later. I I need to think. Ayla, shaky, says, "Okay, yeah, this really isn't the place for this, huh?"
It's okay. You said what you wanted to say. And Mr. Finch, if I may say, if she chooses to go out and explore, if you allow her to, if our paths should line up and she joins with us, I will protect her with my life. You have my word on that.
Brian looks sick to the gills.
Mateo, in his thoughts, you get a flashback, Edward, where he remembers a much younger him, right? A much
Oh,
much younger him. Uh,
is he a retired adventurer?
no, no, a much much younger him, uh, talking talking to a older gruff man, and saying, "Please." Sorry, why does he sound so young? He said, "Please, I will take care of her. I will protect her. No harm will come to her while I'm near." And he glances over at his young lover, and that thought fades out, and he says, "Excuse me, I appear to have lost my appetite." And he gets up and he walks away. He's not, you can tell, all of you can tell he's not mad. He is just,
Mirthful?
He's just disappointed.
God damn it.
Oh, okay.
but yeah, he gets up, walks away.
um,
I suppose I
Brian
could have
looks
kept my
over.
mouth shut on that one.
Brian looks over to Ayla. I'm sorry if that was an insensitive question. I I had parents who were not fond of me going out and doing what I wanted to. They were right a lot of the time, but I don't know. It looked familiar.
Um, I, you can see she held, she looked like she was about ready to get up and walk away. Uh, but she kind of sighs to herself. It's hard because I want to stay with him too. I want to go and I want to stay. Can't have both.
True.
And he really does care.
Brian's gonna look up. Even when they care, sometimes I know I look a little strange. Eldrin elves aren't quite like material plane elves. I'm from the Fae, and My parents sent me away for the fact that they found I was too trusting, too willing to believe in people for the fake cohorts. Too willing to make grand gestures, and she gives a pointed look at Moonzic, like, I will protect her with my life.
Well,
She kind of blushes at that.
And they sent me here to learn. I'm probably quite as wary as any normal person here on this plane. I think, anyway. But I can't go back and see them. I did find a way back to the Fae once, but even if I were to go back, there's no way they'd see me. Even when trying to listen, I lost what I cared about. Sorry, that's dark and could give you the wrong impression. I don't believe that would happen if you stayed here, but life is strange and it gives us weird directions, and what we hold on to we don't always keep, and what we keep we might not have even meant to hold on to. And she's looking down now at her spell book, which is now Ioun themed, despite her starting pretty far from that path to begin with. Don't throw away one option just because you think that's the only way to keep the other. See what you can do with both. That's my advice. It might be greedy and inaccurate to how life and business works, but optimism never killed anyone, right?
She kind of like looks at you and gives like a half smile.
and if anybody,
Alright.
and if anybody would be able to find a solution to that, it would be someone with a cunning as mind as yours, Ayla.
That she kind of her smile gets even larger, and she looks at you and says, "You know, thank you both. I appreciate the insight.
What am I hearing in the background?
That's
I
my
don't
book club.
know."
That's my wife's book club. I'm sorry. I try to mute out when I can.
Oh no, you're fine.
Uh,
Now that I know what it is, I can ignore it.
Okay.
uh, what do you say about sticking around for a day or two?
Any particular reason as to why? Or just to
Well,
have me around?
definitely just to have you around. But also,
Brian visibly blushes.
uh, but also, I think I just need. I think I just need some time.
I see what you're saying now, and I feel really dumb for not getting it. But when we had a conversation while we were on the Griffin, and you had said, I had asked the question about efficiency being the best, you know, it's being a deciding factor in things, and you had talked about the benefits of taking time for decisions and communicating. I I see what you're saying. So, could you give me a day or two?
I think I could.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna leave with you or anything like that. No, I not like
We don't have
I don't
immediate plans to set up the Marquette. It's just something I feel needs to be done soon, but I just don't know how soon.
We can wait a few days. Brian pretends to be leafing through his schedule.
Great. Okay. Uh Thank you.
Of course.
Now knowing that, I have a little bit of extra time, I'm going to go. I need to take a few moments.
Of course.
I'll be with you guys in a bit.
And when you
Um,
meet up with your father, tell him I'm sorry about being so forward.
I mean, he is a merchant after all. Being forward is generally the most
Brian is
respectful
gonna
thing.
pipe up. Given the few days limitation, would you, um, would you mind if at least Edward and I, headed back into town for a little bit? There are a couple things we'd like to do.
Sure.
I'll show you how to make some alchemical concoctions using, well, I mean, better ingredients now that we're actually in a town and not just out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Actually,
sure.
while we're all heading off in different directions, it seems, before I let them go, I'll have a talk with them, but is there a place on the estates where I can maybe practice some sparring?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'll have to join you.
That'd be my pleasure.
Great. It's a date.
Aww.
Lovely.
Oh, snap.
And with a reignited pit in her step, uh, she gets on out of there, leaving the three of you alone.
So, those explosions?
You have way more explaining to do than I do.
Alright, fine.
What compelled you to undermine every effort you expended in order to ensure your identity remains secret, just so you can tell it to a merchant? I mean,
Oh my
explain
god.
yourself.
Just a moment, there seems to be happening. It seems that something's happening in my living room, so might wait for the noise to die down.
We want to take a break.
I think we're good now.
We could.
I think we're good
Oh,
now.
Okay.
never mind.
I guess there's something as canny or as cliche and as naive as it sounds. Something felt different about her prodding. I
I assure you, it felt the same as most other prodding.
even so.
I didn't know people like her were your type.
Well, I mean, prodding from all of you is. I don't mean to demean it or downplay it in any way, but I always expect it from you. You're there to help me. I I haven't always had confidence in my decisions. That's why I ask you two. I ask Windchime and Animo and Soren and Brom when he was still with us and Miles when he was still with us. I asked them.
I keep hearing all about Brom. What's he like? Sorry,
He
topic for another time.
probably.
Continue.
I'll just say this. He's not one for magic. I'm not sure how you two would get along.
How can one not be one for magic? It's so cool!
He is a farmer.
So use it to help your crops. I don't understand.
Well, how about you go meet him one of these days and you try and explain it to him.
Sounds exhausting.
Just stay away from his pitchfork. That thing is nasty. Where were we?
You letting the entire cat out of the bag after you
yes.
got the cat out of a bag.
I remember. Yes, I expect that prodding from all of you because you know me. She didn't know me. And she's just as young and as naive and as idealistic as I am. So, and with us making a deal like this, I don't know, something, as Edward put it, apparently she's my type, apparently. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I just fell head over heels and let the entire cat out of the bag, and I apologize for that.
Well, it's your cat.
Well, I mean, I was going to scold you about prudence of mind, but I suppose this type of thing can't be held to. It was it was as spontaneous as it was surprising for all of us. So
here's the thing: whether I keep this a secret or not, Angerel still has a price on me, or still has a sight set on my head, and probably has a sight set on all of your heads as well, for being associated with me. If
True.
I'm not
The entire cat is somewhat out of the bag anyway, right?
exactly, and I don't know how far I'm going to take it beyond the Finch family, but if I do end up telling more official parties, despite the fact that I have an outstanding bounty, if I tell them the things that I've done to help the Menagerie Coast, with bringing the injustices of the Sylvia family to light, saving the people of Palmaflora, helping the Clovis Concord establish peace with the Sagan at long last, all of these things, and just the things that we've done in Nicodranas as well. I think they would see that I'm not some sort of nameless monster with a price on his head.
Keep
I-
the Sogwin
I mean,
thing
I
to
do suppose
yourself.
vindication would be a relief to your current standing.
Precise.
You should keep the
I mean-
Sogwin one to yourself, though.
Yeah.
That story, how do I put it? It's not going to ingratiate you to the masses, I don't think.
Well, even so, it takes a relationship of originally hostility to one of a little bit more of a cautious optimism.
And as I said, optimism never killed anyone, right?
Well, it certainly hasn't killed me.
Alright.
I just hope that you don't become its first casualty. In any case, I mean, what do you see in this man in which you pledged to deal with? Finch, I mean, from at least what I
Yes,
can
that's
gather
right.
with prodding around in his mind, what do you see of him? To be honest, when I did poke around in his thoughts a little bit, the brief moment that I spent there was filled with thoughts of excitement and thrill over the prospect of a prospective venture with you and either foreign relations with Ankarel or to bolster his own standing amongst the higher ups of this particular society, perhaps possibly using you as some sort of leverage in order to propel himself up into the rank of a noble of some sort.
I actually really wanted to add to this. And I hope you don't take this the wrong way. Really don't think you. Really hope you don't take this the wrong way. Um, did you know your mother?
Did I know my mother?
Yeah.
Of yes, I did. She's, at least to my knowledge, she's still alive.
Why didn't? How? Sorry. That deal you made. I'm not sure if it was a power you've either kept hidden from us or something else, but that was incredibly similar to either a warlock deal or a fae deal.
What are you talking about?
You didn't feel that surge of magic? It was almost visible from my experience.
Is that what that was?
I don't think he could betray you right now if he wanted to. Even unless, of course, you were to betray him.
I did feel something, but I suppose I did, on some unconscious level, believe it was magic. I'm not entirely sure what that was.
The reason I ask about your mother, although it could be on your father's side as well, is I was wondering whether they were Fae. I mean, you already have your ability to almost magically shape change.
No, I am, at least to my knowledge, I am human. Completely, but as for the shape-shifting, it was a power that was gifted to me by a man in charge of the Uncarel thieves. They only, or I suppose a person. I can't really get a beat on what kind of person they are. They have no distinguishing characteristics for their gender anymore. A person that just wishes to be called the Enchanted One. Cryptic as his title may be, he is a very powerful person in Onkarel's underworld. I'm not
Interesting.
I'm not entirely sure what they're after with running a band of thieves, but they gave me this power and I was able to use it rather efficiently. Almost a little too efficiently, weirdly enough. I didn't think I would get hold of a magical ability so quickly.
I think whether it's either due to something recent in your family's history, there might be a little bit of truth to whatever divine right to rule your people see there.
There is something there. I was never really taught of it. My father never really taught me directly. He had lines of tutors for me and my brother. Never really cared to be around me and Pabir. My mother was always there for us.
Interesting. Sorry, forgive my musings on your family's past. Although we need to be aware that your brother, if my guess is at all correct, your brother is not going to be any pushover in terms of ability. Somebody who relies on his guard.
Of course not. If he's allying with just as shady people as I think he is, he's probably gotten some sort of power through a deal himself. And is probably keeping a very tight grip on that throne.
Let's make it slip
I mean,
through
do you
his fingers.
suppose? I mean, do you suppose that this power doesn't come without consequences? And do you believe that, the method in which he procured it can be used as a point of weakness against him?
It is entirely possible. This is all hypothetical, so we can't really say anything on the matter at this point. We would need more information, which I'm not sure how to go about getting that information at the time. I could, and we've talked about this before, I could try to contact Tai again, but one, that would just complicate things whether she is compromised or not. So that, as of right now, is out of the question. The only other method I could go about reaching somebody that's that close would be if my feelings on that kind of telepathy between me and if
Could you tell? Sorry.
if that kind of telepathy between me and Tai is to be believed, I could probably tap into it myself, and the only person I can think of communicating at the moment would be the Enchanted One, but I'm not sure how much knowledge they would know.
I mean, one curious inquiry that I've been meaning to ask is, do you think this magical deal-making power can be applicable towards Tai itself as a way to verify the validity of her loyalty?
It is entirely possible, but this is the first time I've ever experienced such a power. I'm not sure if I have to be there physically, or if
You almost definitely do.
so.
Along with some. It looked like, at the very least, the conditions are a statement of loyalty about potentially being friends, a handshake proposed, even it was proposed not by you, but by the person who received the contract. We'll call it a contract, just for my ease of remembering what I've read.
Ever the
The
warlock,
conditions.
Brian.
Oh, but you might have just made one, which I believe would make you patron.
Patron
Or would you
Dolpensi? You think I'm some
or
sort
would
of
you prefer
deity?
not as such? More like a royal pain in all of our asses.
Oh, that's it.
True to that.
That's it. What were those explosions this morning? Out with it.
Oh, that? Uh, well, you see, when you mix gunpowder and fire, you can make a loud popping sound.
Why are you playing with gunfire? Are you trying to reverse engineer those black powder charges?
No, I was trying to make loud noises outside your window because you were still up there with her.
Why were you spying on me?
What do you mean? I was not spying. I just recognized you weren't back yet. I can put two and two together.
Aha. Although,
Also, you're welcome.
thank you. Although, on the subject of explosions, is it possible to reverse engineer one of those charges?
I mean, probably.
I
The
would.
problem is that I'm not really very familiar with the black powder, and it's incredibly volatile. Like, it gets wet, it doesn't work. It gets too hot, it spontaneously combusts. Like,
I mean, that just seems like normal black powder to me.
Yeah, exactly. But the process of getting the nitrogen for it. You have to heat something. It's not something I'm willing to just mess around with as much as I'm willing to mess around with magical explosions. I understand that. This is a little out of my comfort zone. They're, they're talking about this whole theory of elements and confusing.
Do we still have... Oh, what is that tinker's name that Soren has in that amulet? Gillywater?
You mean Gillywater?
Does he...
Gillywater.
Does Soren still have that amulet?
I believe so.
Well, I mean, I doubt it would be. I doubt it would be a brief trip back to him, even if we were to.
Of course, I'm
See.
just... I'm just pondering something. Would it be possible if Gillywater in Soren's body could reverse engineer those and we could figure out how to make them and we could make our own black powder charges?
The problem is, genuinely, and this is one of the weirder things I've seen, is the books involved with black powder are very rarely alchemist books. Like, yes, there's some alchemists that touch on things. He pulls out this absurdly heavy alchemist codex of reagents and like shows off black powder, nitrogen compounds,
Revised
explosives.
compendium.
Like, it's just this huge, very heady thing of like what all of that is. And she goes, like, you can see here it lists properties, but when you look any further, at least from what I've found in alchemist journals, it's just a reagent for potions, for a few arcane components, and very, very rarely anything else. Meanwhile, main manufacturing is under smithing for some reason.
Well,
I mean, it has been observed that black powder has been synthesized without a magical means. They call this mundane alchemy. In the particular context of mixing multiple potentially arcane reagents without the intention of extracting some sort of magical effect due to materialistic, transmutation of some sorts. It's just the reliance on changing matter without transmutation magic.
So even if we could reverse engineer those, it becomes... We're probably not going to be able to make them ourselves unless we had someone else do it for us.
I'm not confident in my skills. Could I gain them? Potentially, but I have a feeling it would be even harder than the accidental explosions I keep causing.
I was just thinking along the lines of if we had the ability to make those charges, we could put them to good use in our adventures, including to Oncorel. But we can make do with what we have now. If we are able to make them, then wonderful. If not, then we still have a few. But, speaking of things to prepare Oncorel for, Edward, I forget, and Moonzic's going to pull out the assassin's dagger. Did you ever analyze, or... Oh, what is it? Did you ever analyze the toxin that was on this blade?
Emily, with my alchemy kit, could I potentially analyze the properties of toxin on this blade?
Yeah, you actually did get around to it.
Okay.
Oh.
I thought so,
What was
but I
it
wasn't
then?
100% sure.
Yeah, he did get around to it. Let me see. Is it in the magic items? I don't...
Oh, what was it then?
It was just...
I just have it as, at least in my character sheet, I have them in my inventory as assassin's blades.
Yeah.
Or assassin daggers.
It's
wyvern venom.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's right. It was wyvern venom. Do you think there's any way to find a sort of protection or antidote or something that we could use? Because if we go to Oncorel, if things go south, we are most likely going to be facing assassins at least with more of those blades than we can count, if not guardsmen having the same kind of toxin on their blade as well. I want to have some sort of defense against it.
Well, I mean, at least alchemy is my strong suit. In this particular context, I do think I can probably find somebody in town or somebody at least to be able to synthesize some sort of anti-venom towards it. Although I will say that it is not relatively common due to the expensive nature of wyvern toxins that, well, there just doesn't seem to be a demand for them in the first place.
If you can find any sort of library to help you, then, or if you can find any sort of information, any sort of source, please, I'll give you one of these daggers as a reference if you can find anything.
Very well.
And he's going to hand Edward one of the assassin daggers, coated in wyvern toxin. Sheathed, of course.
He throws it at him. Catch!
I've made that mistake before. I'm not going to do that again.
Oh, in either case, what do you see in... Well, I mean, back to my original inquiry. What do you see in Mr. Finch? Do you think he'll be a liability from now on, or do you think... what do you think he'll be able to do for you beyond just treating you as a quote-unquote lucrative opportunity?
Well, the way I
Even
see
that might be. Sorry.
I'll let you do your thought first, and then I'll answer.
That might be a benefit, to be honest.
It is. I would say it is a benefit. He is on my side through that deal that I suppose I made with him. I could feel that he would keep his word. So he will probably help us in whatever way he can, however long it may take. And I'd be more than happy to have him bring his wares to Ank'Harel. I would love to have a source of precious metals on my shores. And I'm sure I'll probably need some of them if I'm going to be rebuilding Ank'Harel in any capacity.
History check. Does Ank'Harel have a surplus of precious metals to the point where it would be economically viable to import it from all the way from Wildemount?
I don't know. Get wrecked.
I'm just gonna put this out there. Honestly, having a good relationship with just about any merchant helps with nation building.
And this is true.
I suppose, and
People really misunderstand, at least historically speaking, what causes success in nation building. There are usually a few keys to power. Somebody who is good at getting taxes, somebody who inspires the army to enforce laws, somebody who inspires trade. All of these things are important. You have to be able to raise treasure and distribute it in a way that allows you to succeed in...
I suppose I've read a book like that. Also, it also determines that the mark of a good leader is one who can properly accommodate each person to the power in which they need, and also regulate the power that they have in which to instill just enough loyalty for their contentedness and not enough for them to have ambition overwhelm them. I think somebody published a book like that. Something Gray.
Yeah, I there's a few of them. One of them was even appropriately named the Prince.
Huh.
Interesting.
But more than that, I honestly don't have too many close relationships with merchants. In fact, the only friendly one I've been able to have was with Finch. The other dealings we have with merchants, I ended up, well, maybe I shouldn't say that in our current presence, but
But left them with empty pockets and a wandering mind.
something like that, yes.
Isn't it quite true? Because
Um,
one of your favorite merchants is Bellwether.
oh yeah.
True.
There is
Old
Bellwether.
dummies and
He
stories.
is probably our closest merchant. He would be a great source, but of spreading the word, as would the Finches, and I could probably start spreading word of potential trade being set up in Oncorel, not just through merchants, but through the underground as well. Word that way travels fast across the world.
I suppose so. I mean, again, if he is a if he is a merchant worth his salt, I suppose he will change himself to accommodate you, not the other way around.
That's what I am
Again,
believing.
the merchant's strive to make money is that which subsists itself, and I doubt that he would let up this particular opportunity.
Still, we've given him we've told him our problems with traveling there. We don't know the best route to take. We can't just travel there instantly because they'll be expecting us, and if we try and just voyage normally either direction we take, it would take long enough for them to recognize that they're heading our way and would probably intercept us halfway through. We need to find some way to travel indirectly to their shores and then indiscreetly make it to Anchorale itself. That is no small feat. Or perhaps some other method that I'm not taking into account. Because I don't see taking an airship being a viable option either. They have security checkpoints at the base of each port. They have them right in front of the ship before you board, and you're gonna have security again once you land in Oncorel. It's a security nightmare, and they'll see us coming from half a world away.
Oh, teleportation. They did hint that they could help us with that.
I
They
mean,
did.
they did come pouring out of a portal. I wouldn't put it past them to have some sort
Well,
of way of
no,
access.
No.
meant
We Go ahead.
Ayla and Mateo hinted that they could help us with
But I mean,
teleporting there in a way that wasn't so obvious.
again, if he has the drive to it and the ambition, I'm sure we can find something to do in order to instill your position back into the throne. I
Whatever.
mean, it would be in his interest to do so. After all, this is an investment. I mean, this is an investment in your drive.
This is true, but even then, I want to give him the space. I don't want to keep pushing it on him and make it seem like a burden more uh, than oh, what did you say? An offer to help. Like you said, an investment.
Exactly. To be clear, um, I I'm more positive on this than I probably would have been elsewise. But I think we can make this work. We need to work really hard, have each other's backs, but I think we found an ally unexpectedly. I don't think we should turn away from good fortune just because it's somewhat scary.
I would
I
have
also
to
don't think we can
agree.
frivolously. I don't think we can afford to frivolously spread your identity around the same method as you do. I think we can count our good graces now,
We can
and well,
we
be more
can
prudent in the future.
frivolously. I would agree with you. It's not a good idea, but to key people, it would be a calculated risk. But considering the good standing the Gotti company is in, I think it would do. It would be a net positive. But those are... I have to pick and choose those battles. Now, you two said you had somewhere to go. Where are you going?
Back to
Figure out how to
Firewatch.
duplicate an explosion. Also, I do have to drop this parcel by friend via Shine Bright.
Where did you pick that up
And
from?
we stole it
I
off
mean,
a
it was.
merchant that
You-
came here.
It's not stealing if he willingly gave it to me unwillingly.
Definitely theft.
I'm so glad you two are not on any sort of royal court. No offense, Brian.
I am on the royal court.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
mean,
not
she's the
allowed
master
back.
of stealing the duties.
I'm
She's the
just not
master of
allowed
stealing the
back.
duties.
Alright.
Just not allowed back.
Alright. I'm sorry for asking. Go do your errand. I'm going to go blow off some steam in the sparring hall.
Yeah, well, we're gonna
Yeah.
blow up some other things in somewhere else.
Please don't.
Catch you later.
Yeah, go blow off some steam.
Right.
Aha.
As she walks past you. Yeah, get some.
You see Tui on the top of Brian's head with little
Little thrust motion.
little I was gonna say, yeah, just doing like his hands in the air, just like ooh, ooh.
Just like partying.
Yeah, and like you see
Like-
there is a moment where you can't tell if it's just because it's so tiny and so like, but it does look like he pelvic thrusted a few times. But again, it's a small indistinct little creature.
Tui's perverted.
He has no idea what you're talking about.
You're advocating for him now?
Look at him. He replicates what he sees.
Are you meaning to imply... Get out! Get out! Get out!
Okay. With that, Edward is gonna make his way, even though he wasn't the one doing anything.
And that, my friends, is where we're going to end tonight's session.
That was a lot
Tui
of
the
fun.
pervert, that's what we're calling the session.
Okay.
I mean, we could, like, give the session a clever name or something, but nope. Tui the pervert. That's
Leap
what
of
we did.
faith. A leap of faith.
No,
Yeah.
shaken identity.
A leap of
Shaken
faith.
identity.
Shaken identity is very
There it
funny.
is.
That's
It is.
incredibly funny.
Identity.
Yeah, it's as if I'm good at coming up with titles for things.
I could do what I did
Like,
with the other one and put one title and then in the comment or in the description put alternate title. It's this. That's what I did for She Likes Assertive Men. I made that an alternate
I was
title.
gonna say, we could just make that the title of this.
I'm just saying, like, that is just the better title.
She Likes Assertive Men, Part 2.
It is true, he
man.
did assert himself.
I just got something really cool in the mail.
What was that?
I got the Kirkdazat bundle. It came in the mail.
Oh, that's bad.
Hey.
Yeah.
Nice, dude.
Wait, is that the book about, like, the immune system that he...
So it's the calendar, the Human Era calendar. It's a curiosity guide, a habit journal, and a gratitude journal. All the
Nice.
like self-improvement shit that they've done.
Well,
Nice.
I would love to continue
Homework
this
to help.
discussion, but I am going to end things off here real quick with the recording and the streaming. Thank you all so much for watching. For those of you on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends. follow the links down below to go follow my Twitch page and my Facebook page as well. I'm terrible at updating my Facebook page when I go live and everything, but I'll try and get better. Also, this is our last session before the holidays, so have fun, be safe. We'll see you with session 60A after the break. But we'll see during the holidays. I'll probably stream a few times, and maybe we'll squeeze a Outer Wilds session in. If you haven't seen the first part of Outer Wilds, go watch that. I make choices. Some better than others.
I want to watch more Outer Wilds. I want you to play more Outer Wilds.
I would love for you to play Outer Wilds right after this, not gonna lie.
We will see. Actually, I might. So
That's not a no. That's not a no. That's not.
So, for those on YouTube, thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Take care, guys.